Hi everyone, welcome to Kelly's Art Throb. I'm Kelly, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about Inktober. And while I'm talking about Inktober, I'm going to draw some shapes in kind of an intuitive way, and then I'm going to paint over them, and then I'm going to draw some lines on top of them, so that it's kind of fun sometimes to allude to suggest what is going on underneath. And I'm going to tell you how you can have a successful Inktober and why I'm not doing it this year. Okay, so if you want to have a successful Inktober, the first thing you have to do is decide what supplies you need, because if you want a lot of supplies, you're going to have to make sure you have them. You may have to order them or whatever, but you shouldn't let that stop you if you really want to participate in Inktober. If you want to participate and you haven't, especially if you haven't done it before, whatever you normally write with, whatever pen and whatever paper is fine. That's really all you need. And then you get the prompts and kind of look at those and see if they're inspiring. If they're not, there are other challenges that you can do. And you don't have to stick to Inktober. Just look up October art challenges and you'll find tons. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to really take a good look at your calendar. I suggest doing it on paper. There's something different about writing all of your appointment obligations. And don't forget things like if you have to register your car, and you have to go to the DMV or anything like that. Anything you can do ahead of time is really helpful to go ahead and get that done. So you look at your calendar and you write everything down. And if you don't have a paper calendar, you can download a printable PDF of a month. You could do October 2023 and you'll find tons of them. And you just download the PDF and print it out, and you have a blank calendar, or you can just draw the squares, whatever. But it's good to see it in print because you're doing Inktober or whatever challenge. If you're doing traditionally, you're used to doing that. Just go ahead and do your calendar in paper and write everything on there. Get all the birthday cards you need to buy, do all that stuff ahead of time, get it all done and out of the way, and then really look at your schedule. How much time do you have? Do you have 3 hours a day? And if you do have 3 hours a day, do you have the stamina to do art for 3 hours a day? Really think about that stuff. And if you're not an experienced artist, if you don't draw a lot, you're not in that practice, or you only have like a half an hour at a time, make sure that you're aware of how much time you actually have and how much time you actually want to spend. If you only have a half an hour or you're not practiced, don't plan on drawing a detailed 9x12 drawing every day. Do a sketch, do thumbnails. Be realistic about it and figure out what you really want to get out of Inktober. Do you want to work on specific skills, or do you just want to participate for the fun of it because all the cool kids are doing it? Or you've never done it before and you just want to try it out. I don't know what the percentage, but probably 80% of the people who do Inktober start out really strong the first few days or maybe even the first week, and then they just sort of drift off and quit doing it. And that's okay too. You need to set your own goals and what makes it successful to you. Then you want to gather the materials that you need. Keep them in a box or a little tote or something, and make sure it's just for Inktober. Don't make it available for everyone else in the family, because they'll pull for your pens or your paper. Somebody will need to write something down and they'll grab it. So you need to make sure it's separate from what everybody else can get into. and then designate a space and make it ready. And that way you don't have to worry about preparing your space every day or whenever you're going to draw. Then the last thing is really look at the rules. Which ones do you want to follow? Keep in mind that this is your challenge. It's no one else's. And there's not an Inktober brigade going around from house to house making sure everybody is following the rules strictly. So you don't have to do it, any part of it that you don't want to. You don't have to post every day if you don't want to. You don't have to post at all if you don't want to. Now, that being said, I went through that whole checklist that I just gave you, the tips, and as I was preparing that for you, I realized that this September is going to be hella busy, and I really like to devote the appropriate amount of time to an art challenge, and I do like to really throw myself into it and give it everything I have. And just realistically, I'm not going to be able to do that and give it the attention that I think it deserves for my purposes. And I think that I would just, as it was coming up, I was getting more and more sort of this feeling of heaviness and burden. And I don't think that's a good way to go into an art challenge. So you have to, I would encourage you to evaluate that for yourself. And man, I love art challenges. I think they're great. So I totally encourage you to do it if that's what you want to do. It's just not going to work out this month for me. I don't think I can commit to anything. I've got, I'll just briefly tell you, I have a torn meniscus, we think, and I'm doing physical therapy at least twice a week, and it wears me out. So the time that I'm not doing physical therapy and then taking care of other art endeavors that I'm doing outside of YouTube and Instagram, I also really want to enjoy this month. So I don't want to tell you what I might do because I don't know. I'm going to see how things play out. I've got some ideas formed for the next few videos. But I don't want to jinx it. And really, one of the reasons that I was going to try and push through doing Inktober is because I told you guys that I was going to. And I don't want to be known as the flake who always has ideas that they never follow through on. I do that a fair amount of the time. And it's valid to not want to flake out. But honestly, I just don't have the time to devote to it that I want to. So I'm going to be there to cheer you guys on. And if you want to share anything, I'll be watching Inktober. So I'll hopefully see what you guys are up to and get inspired for my next art challenge, which maybe I'll do something this winter when it's cold and you can't get outside as much, and maybe it's dreary outside, and doing art is such a sort of a recreational thing. So maybe I'll do an art challenge then. But in the meantime, this video is just about over, and I hope you've enjoyed the art that I made on this video, and I'll put a link in the description with all the supplies that I used, and I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches! I love you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.